We're gonna be doing something very different today, because this happened. There's been a redesign for Shrek, and we're gonna analyze it, and we're gonna make a video out of this. I'm more fine with Shrek than I'm with Donkey, and that I am with Fiona. I think Fiona is the toughest one. The first thing I thought about when I saw the new design is this. The first animation test for Shrek. Just look at him. Okay, there's a couple of things I noticed already. They changed proportions in him. This is changed. This is tinier. If you notice, his brows break the silhouette of his face on the old design. Here they don't, they just stay in. They want to keep this sort of egg shape they have now for the head. They're going with a more cartoony style of animating. This is a more realistic mouth. If you scream, ah! That's what your mouth's gonna do, something like the Shrek the Third one. This one's very stylized. This one's very cartoony, I'd say. They lengthened this part of his nose. This one, I could maybe get around with. I talked about this before, but cartilage, which is a material that ears and noses are made of, is something that keeps growing with age. Basically, we see Felicia in this movie. And she looks like she's a teenager, so she's maybe 16, 17. So it would make sense for his nose to grow a bit bigger, okay? Like, look at this. This is a beautiful way of showing a character aging. Look at the size of the nose, okay? Nose is this small when he's a kid. He gets older, the nose starts getting bigger. And wait, I haven't reached the end. Where's the bigger? Like, look, compare that. Like, the size of the nose gets so much bigger. Same thing happens with the ears. Look, the ears and the nose get bigger when you age. But my problem with what happens with Shrek is that the nose doesn't really change shape much here. Like, they basically is a sphere, like an elliptical sphere or something. In Shrek, it does change. This part gets longer than the rest. This is as much. Look at that, and like, that looks more Shrek. It has a bigger nose. You see, like, this starts making him look even more like the original Shrek. Like, this versus this. It's a matter of changing proportions, changing sizes. I feel like these eyes are just two spheres put in front of the model of him. Like, I don't see the lids going around this. Here, obviously the lids appear, but the eyes feel flat. I don't know what it is. It just looks weird in general. Like, I get some of the changes. He does look older. Fiona is the one that looks the worst, in my opinion. Like, at this part, she looks like she has no teeth. This whole first part is like, she looks like she has no teeth. They just took every single wrinkle from her face. Like, here, we can see wrinkles. She's not even frowning that much. She's just, her eyebrows are slightly raised. You can see this. You can see this as well. You can see this as well. Like, at no point we see this. Like, this is just super, super mega flat and smooth. Like, she looks way younger. She looks like a baby version of herself, in my opinion. Let's do this. In theory, this distance shouldn't change. And let's do this. Like, it's bigger on the older one. You're changing proportions on their faces a lot. Fiona has not a single wrinkle on her face, even though she's like 15 years older. Why is her hair the same color? Just put some white hair on her. In character designs, just the size of the eyes relative to the face. Look at this. Look just how big the eyes are relative to the face. Like, this distance is super tiny. The eyes take up a big part of the head. And like, even if this were open, it would be perhaps something like this. Eyeballs never change size. They're the same size for every single person since they're born until they die. Like, if they're 80 years old, same eye size, okay? This things never get bigger. So when you're smaller, your eyes occupy a bigger part of your skull. When you get older, you get bigger. Your eyes are gonna get tinier relative to your head. Characters that are so well established, like, that's my problem with this whole thing. Like, these characters have been out there for 24 years, I think. The first one came out in 2001. And what they're doing here, like, the first thing I thought about when I saw that it wasn't Daya, first of all, look at this, like, this is this. I think they just grabbed her character from the MCU and they were like, yeah, let's make her into this. Shrek 5 is most likely going to be just a cash grab for DreamWorks, okay? They did really well with Puss in Boots, and they wanted to just keep it going with Shrek, and they were like, oh, okay, people like Puss in Boots. We're absolutely gonna do nothing similar to what we did with that beautiful film, like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, by the way. And we're just gonna use the hype of that film. And yeah, of course, Shrek is gonna bring a lot more people to the theaters than Puss in Boots as a brand. This, in my eyes, is basically Ralph Breaks the Internet in the Shrek universe. And that film's not good at all. I'm very worried about what the plot is going to be. They're grabbing Zendaya, one of the biggest names in current cinema history. They're not just gonna give her a secondary or a tertiary part. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be the center of the story. And it's gonna be about Shrek and Fiona dealing with a teenager girl and probably her brothers as well. I feel like that's what this teaser's selling me. Like the whole TikTok thing. The whole just her being this moody teenager. But yeah, I'm very worried about what's gonna be happening with this film. Like, I love Shrek as a franchise. Like, I used to watch Shrek over and over again when I was like 3 or 4 years old. My parents were tired of it. Let's also address the big blue elephant in the room, okay? The first thing that came to mind to a lot of people was, okay, let's try to do what we did with Sonic. They put out the first trailer with the design that's on the left. Nobody liked it. There was a huge backlash, and they redesigned the thing. They redid the whole animation for Sonic because, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that the movie was already finished. Like, animation was already finished when they released the trailer. There was a lot of work in post-production to still be done, but I'm pretty sure, I can look up a source on this, the movie, like, Sonic was animated for every single scene on the film. They redid the model, and that implied basically redoing, I think, all of the animation. I could see some scenes, maybe like they were able to reuse the skeleton they had for the character, but since it's a CG character, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of work still, like if there were muscle simulations, fur simulations, like pretty much they had to redo the whole movie, okay? And that was with one character. I'm not sure how long that set back the production and the release of the film, but it was quite a long time. The problem with Shrek is that if they've already done the film, I don't know how advanced it is, it's gonna release next year, but if they've already done a lot of work, which I think is the case, they're not just gonna take the models, redo them, reanimate them for a whole animated cast. Like, if you go back to the fourth film, there are scenes that have probably 50 characters in just the same frame. Okay, maybe not 50, but a lot of characters, okay? Here, like, there's at least 20 characters here. They're not gonna redo a film because fans don't like the design, okay? That's what's gonna happen. I don't remember if the same thing that's happening with Shrek happened with Mario when they released the Super Mario Bros. Illumination trailer and, well, the teaser. I remember looking at that design and being like, whoa, this is ugly. This is not what I'm used to. I don't like the models that Illumination did for Mario and Luigi. I love Toad, I love Princess Peach, but Mario and Luigi look off. But going back to this, like, let me just break it down for you. It's not going to happen. That being said, I have a theory, and if it becomes true, you can call me a prophet, okay? But what if this whole teaser was just meant to break the internet? What if the only purpose of this teaser was to make people angry and to just get the word out that this movie is being done, to have it on everybody's mind, to have it in everybody's, like, profile on social media, and then just say, like, you know what, it was a prank. I could see this particular franchise doing that. The reason that Shrek was born was to just make fun of Disney. Shrek is a parody of every single Disney princess movie. Because Jeffrey Katzenberg left Disney and was like, I'm gonna make my own studio, and I'm gonna make fun of this studio he just left. So just look at this. Like, the fact that they show this very Mew-inspired design of the mask. This is this, okay? This is TikTok, basically. You can see that. This is TikTok. This is making fun of TikTok. I'm surprised that they show this design of Shrek. Like, I'm pretty sure this is an image from the first film. I've seen this face, this particular face of Shrek so many times. I think it would be a genius move. Ever since the Sonic thing came out, everybody had in their minds, oh, maybe it was on purpose. Maybe they just showed this so that people would get talking. That became a huge conspiracy theory, okay? But it's not true, by the way. You can look up at the video I'm leaving in the description for proof that it wasn't the case, like they had to redo the whole film. But ever since that happened, one thing I thought was like, okay, maybe they didn't do it on purpose. But what if I did? Like, what if I ever got the opportunity to do it? It's a brilliant idea to just copy what already happened, try that like as a fake, and make the whole internet just go nuts. Do I think that's the case? No. Sadly, no. Would I hope that were the case? Absolutely. I don't like this designs, I'm gonna be frank. They're too 2020 for my liking, okay? Before I finish this, I also want to talk about what they did do, right? Going from this to that, it's a huge improvement. They made the eyes bigger. It made sense for a cat to happy guys, okay? They make it more appealing. They changed the way like he's animated as well. Far more energetic and stuff. In general, this was an improvement in my opinion. Like even the hat, look at the hat. Like the hat's tiny in comparison to him. Like this one is even bigger, more exaggeration. And this shows that they could have done something great with Shrek if they redesigned stuff. But also I think it's weird that they decided that in their new intro to the company, like to the DreamWorks logo, the one rule they do have is that they are always gonna show Shrek. And they show him there with the old design as of now. They had a newer model of Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey for that. Like they have this. They have these models. They're different, they're changed. But they keep the essence of the characters 100%. I don't know what to think about this movie. I would love for this to just be a hoax, and them to just go with, "Hey, look, it was just a prank. It's Shrek. We make parodies. We were parodying misinformation and AI and memes and TikTok. The movie's not gonna be anything about this." I would hope that were the case. In my opinion, they should have gone the Puss in Boots route. The film was praised in so many different ways for its style. Like, its visuals look like a fairy tale book. I don't know why they didn't just copy exactly what they did with Puss in Boots and did that with Shrek. I may take back everything I'm saying here once the trailer comes out, okay? Because in the end, what matters the most is that the story is good. Basically, that's the point of animation. Mainly trying to tell stories that you can't tell otherwise, like with live action or other medium. And if the story is good, I'm gonna watch it. That's as simple as that. There's a lot of artists that worked on this film, and they're proud of it. Don't expect the world to change because you want it to change. Like, someone made the choice, and this is what we got. Let's just wait and see if the movie's as bad as it may look at first sight, or if it's actually gonna end up being the greatest film ever made, you know? If you reached this point of the video, thank you very much for being here, and my name is Santiago. I go by Weirdy on social media. I'm an animator, and I've done my fair bit of character design, and if you're interested, this channel is actually dedicated to me making a show. I'm trying to make an animated show, a pilot for now, on my own. I'm documenting the whole process. I still have a last week's video pending. Yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, that would help out a lot, to be honest. Also, I'd like to know your opinion on this whole topic. Like, do you agree with the redesign? Do you think it's unnecessary? Are you like Team Sonic? Do you want them to just redo the whole thing? I want to hear you in the comments, and please just try to make sense. Like, let's not just hate on this film without any fundaments, okay? Hope to see you again in a future video. Bye!